He wants to make sure he can solidify his win in the primary so that way he can move past Nikki Haley with a clean slate and then go towards Joe Biden in this general. If you even looked at the prior CPAC, because of a number of sexual misconduct allegations that were going on, you had a lot of Republicans who actually stayed clear of CPAC, like Governor Ron DeSantis, for example. So this hasn't always been the pride and joy of the conservative movement, if you will. This is just another area where I believe Trump now has another stronghold.
Now, the Conservative Political Action Conference, or CPAC, begins in Washington, D.C. today. The annual gathering of leading Republicans and other American conservatives has become an increasingly important fixture on the US political calendar. Just to give you a flavour, here's some of Donald Trump's speech at CPAC last year.
When we started this journey, a journey like there has never been before, there's never been anything like this. We had a Republican Party that was ruled by freaks, neocons, globalists, open border zealots, and fools. But we are never going back to the party of Paul Ryan, Karl Rove, and Jeb Bush.
I mean, even now, there are things he says that just take your breath away. Well, Trump will address CPAC delegates once again this year, and joining him among the speakers is another famously charismatic orator.
We import 2/3 of our cheese. That is a disgrace. In December, I'll be in Beijing, opening up new pork markets.
Yes, the former Prime Minister, Liz Truss, will address CPAC this year, as will the former Brexit Party leader, Nigel Farage, who has attended CPAC before. Let's speak to Amy Tarkanian, a Republican strategist and the former chair of the Nevada Republican Party. Good morning, Amy.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Does that clip of Liz Truss mean anything to you? I mean, you know, in the UK, that's gone down in folklore. And just to be clear, that's a bit of British irony there. We're not seriously suggesting she's a particularly charismatic orator. She got a bit of a ribbing when she made that speech about 10 years ago. But are many people aware of Liz Truss in the US? I mean, she was only Prime Minister for 49 days.
I was just going to say that I actually asked a number of my friends, I said, what are your thoughts on Liz Truss attending CPAC? And they said, ooh. So, no, it doesn't move the mark at all.
No. Why has CPAC become such a significant event in recent years, would you say?
Well, you know, it's interesting. I think they would like to become a leader in the conservative movement. However, what it is basically, it's an event where you have political junkies on the far right who can come that are starstruck and listen to their favorite legislators that they've seen on their favorite right-wing network. And so it's basically a convention filled with a bunch of groupthink. And it's people who are in a bubble that are not willing to exactly learn anything new. It's basically there to just hang out with like-minded individuals.
But I suppose it does tell you a lot about the place the Republican Party is now, and particularly in election year. And Donald Trump's going to be speaking at CPAC again. What he has to say and the messaging around what we expect the Republican campaign to be will be really interesting.
Sure. Well, I think most of these people, if not all of these people who do attend CPAC, are going to be your major primary voters. And so that's why he's attending. He wants to make sure he can solidify his win in the primary so that way he can move past Nikki Haley with a clean slate and then go towards Joe Biden in this general. If you even looked at the prior CPAC, because of a number of sexual misconduct allegations that were going on, you had a lot of Republicans who actually stayed clear of CPAC, like Governor Ron DeSantis, for example. So this hasn't always been the pride and joy of the conservative movement, if you will. This is just another area where I believe Trump now has another stronghold.
You mentioned that most people attending probably will have no idea who Liz Truss is. What about Nigel Farage? He's also speaking, and he's campaigned with Donald Trump in the past. He's been at CPAC before. Is he better known in America?
Yes, I would say he is much better known, but is he still somebody who at the end of the day was going to make or break somebody who was undecided. No, he's not. But he's definitely a much better known name in the conservative movement.
Amy, really appreciate your time. Thank you so much. That's Amy
Thank you.
Tarkanian there, Republican strategist and the former chair of the Nevada Republican Party.
There's a lot of fake news. By the way, I want to thank the fire department. Look at these people. They're up the rafters. Thank you, fire department. But the greatest in our history, most important battle in our lives is taking place right now as we speak. For 7 years, you and I have been engaged in an epic struggle to rescue our country from the people who hate it and want to absolutely destroy it. The sinister forces trying to kill America have done everything they can to stop me, to silence you, and to turn this nation into a socialist dumping ground for criminals, junkies, Marxists, thugs, radicals, and dangerous refugees that no other country wants. No other country wants them. If those opposing us succeed, our once beautiful USA will be a failed country that no one will even recognize, a lawless, open borders, crime-ridden, filthy communist nightmare. That's what it's going and it's where it's going. I used to say that we will never be a socialist country. I said